you'll hear it. So it reads from Mr. Hoss Delgado like this. DJ Mustard was paying a girl $6,000 a month, $6,000 a month. Mm-hmm. In short, $72,000 a year to be his personal shopper. And Shorty took it upon herself to run his credit card up over $50,000 on gifts for herself. Just because she wanted to flex for the gram.
Nice.
For the gram. Fumbled the bag just to flex for social media. LOL. She was making $72,000 a year, bro.
Just to go to the store and buy some clothes.
And buy to be his stylist. Crazy.
Welcome to Twitter Tuesdays.
Yo, so, what it do, everybody? What it do, everybody? We back one more time again. We back. Oh,
yes, sir.
Of course, you know we out here live. Of course, from Color Command Creative Studio. I'm out here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am your host, El the Designer, along co-hosting with me. Of course, you already know I got Lil Rock.
You already know. Look, what's understood don't gotta be said.
I'm trying to tell you. Hey, look, bro, I don't even know why the fuck I even said your name. I don't even know why I even said your name, bro. These people already should know, you hear me? And as you should, of course, already know, we are the ShiftMakers Podcast. And this is episode 10 of the ShiftMakers Podcast. And let me tell you, it's so good to be back.
Of course.
Now, before we get into things, bro, how you doing? How you doing this fine evening?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty well myself. You know, I got a couple of moves with a few little clients out here in Atlanta as far as this little design thing going. Also, we trying to, of course, you know, push some new things for KRUE. So we definitely been having our hands full, but exciting.
That's the sound of a big timer right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, everybody can't be a boss, bro. You hear me? But if you can't do it, let me tell you, it's definitely a pleasant life to live. You hear me?
Of course.
But now that we got all that out the way, I want to introduce the thing that we're going to talk about today. And it's really something, you know, I started a couple weeks back, something called Twitter Tuesday. And
okay, I'm intrigued.
Yes, sir. Best believe Twitter Tuesday is backed by, I guess you could say, unpopular demand. And by unpopular, I'm not saying people were shitting on the last Twitter Tuesday. It's just that it isn't one of our most listened to episodes so far. And I wanted to kind of give us another shot at Twitter Tuesday, but of course do it with my partner, Lil Rock. Make things a little bit more interesting.
Drop the sauce off over there.
Yeah, bro, because apparently, you know, I couldn't do the shit right, I guess, the first time around. So
yeah, you need that right energy over there.
That's all that is. So just to give y'all a little bit of a briefing on Twitter Tuesday, it's basically us going into, of course, some tweets that we saw on the timeline, certain things that we saw, just to, you know, kind of approach and give everybody a perspective of, I guess you could say, the bullshit that's going on in life. And, you know, just put people on the platform to let their thoughts be heard. You dig?
Right.
And also, of course, you know, just to get some jokes off and shit. So, of course, that's what we here for. Now, first thing first is pretty much from this dude. Let me see what his name is. His name, Baby B-Face Juice. Baby B-Face Juice. And Baby B-Face basically was telling us, I ain't respecting shit that ain't respecting me. Now, I say it again. I ain't respecting shit that ain't respecting me. And this isn't necessarily for us to kind of question that, but just kind of get your perspective on that. How do you feel about, not respecting shit that kind of ain't respecting you first?
Well, I was pondering while you were reading it, and I want to say I can 95% agree. I think in very specific situations, it can be a bit subjective, but yeah, for the most part, I agree.
Yeah. And, I honestly feel like I disagree, honestly, but I kind of agree solely because, I know where he coming from. Like, he obviously been disrespected a lot in his life is what I'm guessing. So, he kind of projecting that other people soon going to be disrespecting him too. So he's like, you know what, fuck it. I want that respect up front. Mm-hmm. But my main thing is you're not going to get that out of everybody. And if everybody kind of have that mindset, then everybody just going to be fighting.
Well, I don't know. I think, too, you can look at it on, having a belief that, of course, we all not raised, the same way. But some people just aren't raised right and they don't necessarily know how to show respect, or maybe they do and they just don't give a fuck. But, boy, I can curse on there, huh?
Yeah, nigga, go ahead.
I'm just trying to make sure it's been a minute. But,
fuck.
But, nah. But nah, some people just don't know how to show respect, or they just pretty much rude, if that's the correct word. We always say treat people, whether they're strangers or someone treat people how you want to be treated. But, everybody doesn't follow that golden rule. So
let me give you a perspective then. Let me give you an example, and let me just see how you feel about this, right? So me and you, we hopping out the car, right? Mm-hmm. And we basically next to this car, they park kind of tight. They park, pretty close to us. Mm-hmm. And the dude didn't necessarily hit our car, or didn't hit the car we was in. Mm-hmm. But, they was pretty close as he was, opening up his car door. And as he was opening up his car door, he was staring us down, giving us a little look like, why the fuck y'all niggas parked all close to me? Mm-hmm. So how would you respond to that look? And of course, maybe, his mouth saying that if we ain't respecting shit that ain't respecting us first.
Well, wait a minute. So you said he pulled. All right, hold up. Well, we parked first, or was he parked first?
All right, my bad. He parked first and we pulled up next to him.
Okay, so this would be one of those situations where, when I was talking about a specific situation where you can't necessarily be mad at him when we the ones in the wrong.
But he coming to you with disrespect already. So how you gonna approach that?
Well, yeah, of course I won't take kindly to it. He's staring at me, so hell, I'm gonna step back. But we could talk about it like grown men. I feel like I think that's and like I said, when we talking about situational. I might be the first person to say this. Situational situations.
Boy.
Does that make sense? When we're talking about situational situations, like the one you just presented to us, I feel like that would be, a time where I can step back and recognize that I'm in the wrong. So yeah, I shouldn't be so off put by him feeling a certain way because we parked all the way on top of his car, basically.
Right. So you basically got to have the timely time to do that.
Right.
That boy said the situational situation.
You like that one, huh?
Yeah, bro, you got that one. But I do understand what you're saying. You're basically saying, if the situation presents itself and the energy, I guess you could say, presents itself, then of course you got to kind of react accordingly.
Yeah, you got to stand your ground. I can't let no nigga mug me and say, what the fuck wrong with you? Or some shit like that and not retaliate. But, it'll come from a place of me just defending myself. slow your roll, partner. Watch how you talking to me, because I ain't come at you like that. If you want me to move, I can move. If we're going to keep the same energy, then you're just going to be stuck in your car, because I'm going to stay right there. I'm going to be an asshole at that point.
Oh, yeah, so, bro. You on that Florida shit. You on that Florida man shit. Yeah, you on that Florida shit.
Nah, you know I gotta ask, why Florida, son? Why?
I don't know. It's just that Florida got wild. Florida known for that wild shit. Florida known for that wild shit, so I felt like it was appropriate. But nah, bro, like I completely understand what you're saying, son. Like I'm with you on that. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you know, if the situation presents itself, you kind of gotta match that energy.
Right. And let me put this out there too, you know, before we do move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I very much hate confrontation. I hate arguing. I hate fighting. But yeah, if a nigga bring it out, then you know you gotta do what you gotta do. So
it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is, bro. Hey, look. Like you said, if a nigga bring it out you, there's only so much you could do.
Real talk.
But I actually, like I said, I do agree with you on that. And for the most part, I just feel like if most people kind of had that sense of respect up front, it really wouldn't be a lot of the arguing and a lot of the bullshit that we already kind of see on Twitter, and really a lot of the toxic shit that we be seeing on Twitter. And it really brings me to the next tweet that I got. Mm-hmm. And this is from Miss Kiki YSL.
Okay.
And she says, I did the toxic shit already. Now I just want peace. And I'm going to say it again. I did the toxic shit already. Now I just want peace. And this one, again, is kind of sort of like the last tweet where we not necessarily reacting to some funny shit she said, but actually something that's, you know, where we trying to get the perspective on it for the most part. And it really makes me think a lot of us kind of in the same boat where we, you know, just focused on the toxic shit that we did in the past, and we kind of expecting peace, not thinking that our past is going to come back to us.
Interesting.
So what you think about that?
Well, you know, I feel like we all have, you know, that phase that we go through. But, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with the tweet. You grow older, you know, grow out of the bullshit, and you just want someone that you can settle down and build with.
And toxic shit.
Maybe not even settling down. Maybe it can just be, you know, if you're on your own. Some people are not comfortable by themselves. And I don't want to get into, you know, a whole other conversation about that. But, you know, it might not necessarily mean having to settle down with somebody else. Just being tired of your toxic ways or dropping those bad habits. But I mean, I can agree. I think we all hit that stage at some point.
And honestly, I don't think it's just with relationships. I think it could be with a lot of different type of shit.
Right.
Like, I mean, we could take it even in like the workplace, or we could take it even in shit with friends, or we could take it with anything. Like, if you're in school or something, like, you know, just being a toxic person, you can't expect now that you think that you done mentally with being that type of person, that other people ain't gonna come in and out your life and basically reciprocate that.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing that a lot of people don't really be discussing when they talk about that shit. Oh, well, yeah, you know, your 20s. And this isn't, like I said, just relationships. My bad. But this isn't just relationships. People are like, oh, well, yeah, in your 20s, you know, that's going to be the time for you to act the ass, wild out, be a fucking idiot or whatever, you know, because it is basically it's your early life. But nobody tells you the other side of that shit, though. Right. The shit that you attracting, kind of.
You know, it's actually interesting because I have a coworker. He's 27, and we had a discussion about, you know, it was something similar to what we're talking about now. I won't go too much into detail, but, you know, we were kind of just talking about how, and he went to LSU, and he definitely did a whole lot of partying and, you know, messing around. And at the age he's at now, he says he's not really all into any of that anymore. And he's more so, he was at the time he was looking for someone to settle down with, not to, keep it on relationships, but just, give me an example. And, fast forward to now, and he's about to propose to his girlfriend. So, I mean, listen, everybody's timetables are different. Because some people might want to live that, fast lifestyle until they in their 30s. Maybe they don't want to rush out of the lifestyle of living. And it just depends on the type of person you are and what you want out of your life.
Right.
I don't think anything is right or wrong. So.
No, I mean, yeah. I agree with you on that. Like, everybody should live their own life to the best of their abilities and not really let somebody else's expectations dictate how you should do it. And the only thing is, though, if you know what you're doing is toxic, I definitely think you should evaluate what you're doing. Like, if you're unaware of it, then you're unaware of it. But if you know what you're doing is toxic, then you may want to reevaluate that, because 9 times out of 10, like Miss Kiki YSL just was explaining, it's going to catch up back to you in the future, and it's going to likely be at a time when you just want peace, like Kiki YSL was just saying. So, just be cognizant of that. And whenever, you go about the business of just wanting to do certain things, of being, a toxic person. And again, I kind of hate the word toxic, because it could mean so many different things. And it's really some new shit that people just starting to say.
And honestly, too, I ain't gonna even lie. It's hard for me. Like, when I hear toxic now, it's literally synonymous. Is that the right word? It's synonymous with relationships to me right now. It is a bit harder when you bring up the topic, and because the first thing my mind went to was relationships and how you go about, your dating life and et cetera, et cetera.
Right. And really, if you think about it, we ain't gonna be talking about this shit all day, but if you think about it, in the last 10 years, it just became about relationships, because when you and me kind of was hearing toxic, say before 2010, it was more so in the context of, oh, that child lives in a toxic environment. Oh, that classroom is a toxic environment. Oh, you see what I'm saying? It was in that accent, but not necessarily the relational type of thing. And it's just people just trying to use new shit to describe certain things that definitely isn't necessary, because most people relationships isn't toxic. They just don't know how to communicate.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think there is some people, well, that it kind of comes down to the meaning of being toxic. And most things that are toxic are draining, very energy draining, stressful. And I think in relationships, a person can definitely be that. Even if, like you said, even if it's bad communication, at some point, your common sense will tell you what's, communicating and what's not, and what you should do, as far as the communication or not. So I don't know. I still feel like, it's a perfect word to describe a person that just a nasty person.
So when toxic became, when toxic stopped becoming words to describe niggas like the Hulk. You remember when it was for niggas like the Hulk and fucking Johnny Test and fucking I'm trying to think of all the weird niggas who got like superpowers from fucking chemicals and shit.
Hey, I think that was that 2008 Hulk, huh?
Yeah, hey, that was that was the start of the Marvel shit.
Oh man. Hey, and this side note, but I see a lot of Johnny Test slander, and it got to stop too. That's just a side note.
That nigga was funny. I ain't gonna lie. I forgot all the shit about that show, but the stupid shit them niggas would say on that show. But Chaz, I definitely do feel like the toxic side of things is it's definitely convenient, I feel like, in relationships nowadays for people who already have dealt with toxic relationship. It's convenient for them because now they're able to kind of describe it and live and you know, give their perspective of how they live through it. And it's also convenient for people like Miss Okay So Meek, I think her name is. Okay So Meek, to kind of give us the tweet that she said. And it's actually a quoted tweet. So I'm going to explain the original tweet first, and then I'm going to give you her tweet, which is, of course, something that she quoted, right?
Okay.
So the original tweet is coming from this dude, Valor Words. And he said, and it's actually prophetic, if you will. It's very prophetic, and it's very I'm trying to find the right words for this. It should be written as scripture, if that makes sense. And Mr. Velo Word says, a man saying he pays all the bills is a pick-me. And I'll say it again. A man saying he pays all the bills is a pick-me. And then Miss Okay So Meek quoted and said, and he will be picked. And he will be picked. And that just goes to show you, bro. That just goes to show you. No matter how toxic somebody could be, as long as you able to pay them bills, bro, you might just be picked. You hear me? And that's the sad thing. That's the sad thing, dog.
Interesting.
What you think about that, Gee? What you think about that?
Oh man. I have a lot of thoughts when it comes to these type of topics.
Look, he don't even know the difference. These toxic motherfuckers.
I will say this, though. If you are in a position or you're in, okay, let me do this, because you know what has been pissing me off lately? I've been seeing these posts of the game talking about how, you know, he paying all the bills and all of this and that.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Right. So, for one, you know, and this is kind of what a lot of people miss when they start getting into these debates. The game is in a specific tax bracket. And when these people in this tax bracket start getting on Twitter and spouting out how they pay all the bills and you ain't doing enough if, you know, you down bad if you're letting your old lady pay some of the bills. You know, a lot of people don't realize that financially, maybe this probably a low ball, but 80% of men, they don't make that type of money. So it would be pretty stupid to expect the man to pay all of the bills in most situations. But what is true, okay, and let me say this too. The chick who, what's her name? When she said, and he will be picked.
Oh, so Meek.
Okay, yeah. And he will be picked. That's going to always hold true. Because women are hypergamous, I believe the word is.
Say that again?
They're always hypergamous.
Okay, I may need a definition on that one, gangster.
So basically meaning that they want to be put in the best position for, you know, creating offspring, creating a family. So they're always going to look for the best option. And the best option is usually, you know, let's just go over the traits. That would be someone that's masculine. So, which, you know, you don't see as much of these days, masculinity.
And that's something we got to talk about too. I ain't mean to cut you off, but in all seriousness, I'm glad you said that shit, because I'm about to write that in my notes right now for a future topic, because we need to talk about the masculinity shit, because women, y'all in a world of trouble, bro. y'all done started some shit. And it's so sad seeing these niggas turned into go and finish. finish your spill.
But no, I mean they want someone who's masculine, someone who's a breadwinner, someone who can provide for their family. So, naturally, most women, if a man says he can pay all of the bills, that must mean he's financially stable, and he must be a provider if he's saying he can do all of these things. So why wouldn't he be picked? Okay. So, it makes perfect sense when you look at it from a biological standpoint. But, where I see the problem come in is, again, with, different tax brackets and what these women are expecting of an average man is just unrealistic.
Unbelievable is believable. The unachievable is achievable.
And no, I mean, I feel like, honestly, both, not just men, not just women, but men also is being completely unrealistic. And the reason they're being unrealistic is that they've fallen for this stupid shit. And I'm going to call it what it is. It's quite honestly stupid shit. And it's so stupid. I don't care what you want to call me. If you want to call me a broke boy, call me an idiot. Let me tell you one thing. I always been a smart nigga. And second thing, I only been broke for a very slim part of my life. I may have been poor, but best believe, baby, I only been broke for a very slim part of my life. And I ain't been back there since. So, you hear me? But I do feel like it's just flat out a stupid mentality. And game, I don't care how much money you got, bruh. Mm-hmm. It's very stupid to live like that and think like that, because for one thing, I feel like you hurting a woman because you're not putting any responsibility on them. So now you basically turning them. And this is just my mindset, right? If you in a relationship with someone and you taking all of the responsibility, I feel like you're hurting them, because by you taking all of the responsibility, mentally, they will be basically turned into, I don't want to say a slave, but they now think that if I don't capitulate to this person, or if I don't basically bend over backwards for this person, I may lose what the benefits that I'm getting. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I think this is another subjective or situational thing.
Yeah.
Because, let's just say I'm paying all of the bills in my household, and my wife is, she has her own income. And let's say maybe she's investing her income for, the both of us. And she still has those duties of cleaning, and let me go out, jump out there and say, nah, I don't. But
right. I agree.
If she's, if we're going to look at, because let's keep it, keep it real. A man paying all of the bills is very traditional when you look at relationships. And I think that's another problem too. I don't want to, delve too deep into that, but, women want traditional men, but don't want to be traditional women. But again, like I said, that's another conversation. But, let's say the woman is investing her income and she's doing all of her womanly duties, which would be cleaning, taking care of the kids, cooking. And of course, men are simple. We want sex as well. So, she's providing all of that. Then I don't see an issue with it. If the man is able to do that and also have his money on the side where he can, go out if you want, he can buy himself nice things, provide, buy stuff for his wife, kids, whatever. I don't think it would be an issue if, things were working out that way. I think it all just depends on how you and your partner want to go about that.
And I definitely do understand and see the perspective that you just presented, because everything you just said for the most part makes a whole lot of sense. And it's very hard for me to disagree with basically anything you just said without me sounding crazy. But I definitely do feel like, and again, like you was just saying, is very situational, because if the situation was what you just said and you and your partner came to that agreement, then obviously it's very beneficial for the both of y'all. Right. So in that particular situation, that's like the perfect type of thing or deal for you to be in. So, there's no disagreements on my end.
Right.
But let's just say in another type of situation where, you know, y'all don't have that understanding where she isn't, say, investing all of her money because you paying all of the bills, but instead she's going about the business of basically spending her money on what she wants to spend it on.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it.
Yeah. And you paying all of the bills, and y'all both have dreams to, let's just say, be a millionaire in the next 10 years. How in the hell is y'all going to do anything in life? How is y'all going to stop living check to check? How is y'all even going to be able to pay off debt if that's the case? And that's my point. If, you know, people go into falling into that trap where really it's a lot of people who really just trying to get pussy falling into that trap, you going about the business of doing that shit, and now you kind of ruining your dreams. Like, you literally ruining your dreams just for a piece of pussy that don't even want you.
Right. And you know, that's you know, that's a bigger problem with our generation now. I don't see it ever, you know, going back in the right direction.
Right.
But,
and then they'll ruin their dreams for a woman who likely just wants to show off on the internet, to show off on Instagram, show off on Twitter. So you basically ruining your dream so somebody else could look good on the internet. Think about how that shit sound.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the climate that we in right now. So
yeah, like, I literally know niggas who wants to put $300 to $400 of business. Let me stop saying niggas. I know some good young men who wants to put $300 a month, $400 a month. Let's just say a monthly piece of their income into, say, building a new business, starting a new business, or putting it into stock markets, or putting it into buying crypto coin, or putting it into buying, you know, these different type of things as, of course, long-term or short-term investments. However, they're caught up in buying some new shoes, or they caught up in paying the entire rent, or they caught up in paying the entire light bill, knowing, by the way, they already live in check to check. So it's almost impossible for them to do that. And they caught up in paying all these different type of things, knowing that they can't do it. But again, they don't know how to set their boundaries. So they worried about, oh, if I don't do this, I'm going to lose the pussy. And that's really all it is. And you don't even like the girl. You don't even like her. It's just, you know, that you kind of, you don't know how to set up your boundaries. So you're nervous of being, you know, scared to lose certain things. So now you, again, losing your dream just for some pussy. And she just doing that for the internet for the most part. And I know this may come off as misogynistic or whatever, but I know a lot of firsthand examples that's like this. So it's the truth.
Well, I mean, I think this is the perfect time to go ahead and plug KRUE Clothing, because we always push, we want our supporters to always strive for self-improvement. You need to work on yourself first before you want to go out and try to impress people, or you want to pay somebody else's bills, or, you know, you want to do that type of thing. And like, kind of like what you were saying about, you know, them guys just, you know, chasing a piece of pussy and they basically paying for it.
Yeah.
If you that, you know, if you that thirsty, if a brother's starving like that, use that starvation and push yourself to make more, be better, be a better person. Cause it's going to come, they're going to come naturally anyway. Once you know, on your shit, because first of all, you're going to have that glow. And secondly, like I said earlier, women are hypergamous. So if you looking like a better option, you can bet your best dollar that they're going to come looking at you like you are the best option. So, you know,
and for sure.
Yeah.
And just to add a little bit to that, bro, every single woman I've ever talked to told me, and almost every single woman, because this is just a woman that I've talked to that was been willing to tell me this type of shit. The thing that they obviously look for when it comes to men and shit, first thing that they look for is confidence. And by confidence, they're not talking about being able to pay my bills and shit. No, they literally just talking about confidence in yourself.
Right.
So you having that confidence in yourself, you not, for one thing, looking like shit. If you look like shit, it is what it is. But you ain't looking like shit. You having confidence in how you talk. You having confidence in how you approach the situation. And then two, you having confidence in how you communicate.
Right.
They love that shit.
You know what's the beauty of all of this and how it all tie together? Because if you on your grind and you know, I always, you know, for me, one of my biggest things that I like to focus on is just personal hygiene, keeping myself up. A lot of men overlook that for some reason. They feel like it's not masculine, but I think it's very masculine to just funky stay on top of your looks. Right. Niggas be funky out here.
Funky. Hey, you funky ass nigga. Get your old stanky ass up. Man, nigga, go get you a fucking haircut. Listen, bro. Go take a fucking shower. Go put on some deodorant, nigga. Stop putting deodorant on your funky ass arms. If you know you're funky, go take a motherfucking shower.
Real talk, dog. I mean, nigga. Literally, I clean my face, do all that. But anyway, what I was about to say is how it all come full circle is when you're on your game, working to improve yourself. And when you are actually improving, the confidence is going to come naturally. You're just going to walk like you on your shit already. So, that's why I say it all comes from, just working on yourself, focusing on yourself. And a lot of dudes not focused on the right thing. You see what most women, looking for these days. So you might as well play the game the same way they playing it, because you can best believe most women, I'm going to say, are always looking for the better option. So I'm going to leave that way as that.
Absolutely. And of course, regarding a better option, you do got a couple options regarding how you want to go about the business of, actually building your self-confidence. Right. So, of course, you can actually go about the business of doing what we was just saying, actually taking care of your hygiene, actually working on you, just being a little bit more charismatic, working on certain things regarding just how you, of course, respect women. Of course, that's definitely a big plus thing, because if you disrespectful to women, they're going to see you as less confident, because, I mean, why would a confident person need to disrespect somebody?
Right. You want to hear a grown man tip, though?
Go ahead.
All right, let me tell y'all, bro. Women love somebody who can teach themselves. So literally, we, over here on this side, we've been studying up on our stocks and investing. It literally, I've been making TikToks for KRUE, and they focus on self-improvement. It can, literally anything that you can teach a woman that will help her move forward in life, it's a big turn on. So, Absolutely. Read your books, stay on top of your game, learn financial responsibility. Just it all ties into just being on top of your game, though. Just trying to improve yourself.
Right. Simple. And it's really all about, and I definitely do agree with you. It's really all about just how you're able to add value to somebody's life. Mm-hmm. Just like you can go about the business of adding value to this podcast, of course, just by going about the business of doing that in a few different ways. Of course, if you want to add value to the ShiftMakers Podcast, that can be done in a couple different ways, really 3 different ways, right? So first thing first, you can listen all the way through. Definitely listen all the way through. Of course, subscribe, going about the business of leaving a little review on Apple Podcasts and, of course, Spotify and whatever platform you're listening to it on. That's definitely helpful to us. If you want to leave some comments, leave us some feedback, that's extremely helpful to us. We are definitely presented by KRUEClothing.com. Again, it is KRUE Clothing.com, standing for Kings Remain Unified Eternally. Yes, you can leave those messages and feedback via info@KRUEClothing.com. And of course, we definitely do accept those type of things, and we're looking forward to hearing those type of things, because it only makes the show better. And again, leaving those donations, that can be done just by clicking those show notes, and of course, clicking those show details. We have a PayPal link. We also have a Venmo link, and of course, just consider leaving some value back, whatever you deem is valuable, whatever you got from the show, whether it's 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, $5, $10, $15 worth of value, just consider leaving it back, and we definitely do appreciate that. And with all of that being said, we're gonna jump right back into it. So
yeah, I don't know where we left off, but
yeah, just a couple more tweets I got. Okay. And we definitely did leave off at, of course, just how we can go about the business of adding value, of course, to our women's lives, and just our relationships and of course how we interact.
Can I add something to that real quick? Just before.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to get on a soapbox or nothing, but I think that's another issue with our generation right now is that a lot of these women want the value we can provide, but they don't provide any value to us. I'm gonna leave that right there.
And you know what, bro? You so right about that shit. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds of silence. And I mean, that's all you need. I mean, that shit. That's all you need, quite honestly, bro. You know? That's all you need for that one, G.
What's the next tweet, man?
And really, it honestly has something to pertain with exactly what you just said.
Cool.
So this tweet is going to be coming from, shit, how the hell you say this nigga name? All right, I'm gonna just say his other name, the username or whatever, Hoss Delgado. And let me just give you the backstory on this. Is actually coming from a situation where a man was adding a lot of value, and by a lot, I mean a very, 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 very substantial amount of value into a woman's life. And the woman basically turned around and you'll hear it. So it reads from Mr. Hoss Delgado like this. DJ Mustard was paying a girl $6,000 a month, $6,000 a month. In short, $72,000 a year to be his personal shopper. And Shorty took it upon herself to run his credit card up over $50,000 on gifts for herself. Just because she wanted to flex for the gram.
Nice.
For the gram. Fumbled the bag just to flex for social media. LOL. Wow. And that shit. That's a crazy ass story in itself, honestly.
72? You said 72,000?
She was making $72,000 a year, bro.
Just to go to the store and buy some clothes.
And to be his stylist.
Crazy. That's greed. That's what that greed do to you, though.
It's not greed to me. It's just attention. Like that's a mental illness to me, son. Like motherfuckers
trying to show off.
Really, she wanted pictures so bad to show off. Like it's so stupid. The fact that he follow you on Instagram, so you don't think that he was gonna see all of the shit that you posting.
You know what the first thing hit my mind is if you're making $72,000 a year, why not use the income that you're getting and buy yourself something nice every once in a while? I mean, that's not a bad income. You can definitely, I don't want to say splurge, but you can definitely treat yourself sometimes with, that type of income. But
come on, though, bro. Why in the hell why would you want to do that when you can just run up his personal credit card at extra $50,000? Why would you need to do that?
Craziness. That's madness.
You can say that's madness. Real talk, nigga. That's some sick shit right there.
Yeah, I don't get that one, though. But then again, I mean, I don't want to dig too deep because I don't know the situation, but at least the full, background of the situation. But yeah, that's it. To me, it reads off as greed.
Nah, bro, she got the flu. She got the fucking flu. Nah, fam, she got the flu. This ain't no regular shit, nigga. This ain't no cold. She got some real sick shit going on for real. For real, bro. But that brings me to, of course, our last tweet. And this kind of has nothing to do, and this is actually very off topic regarding everything kind of that we talked about. I know really everything that we talked about for the most part was just regarding the dynamic with men and women. This one is sports related. And I found this tweet very interesting. I was like, I got to talk with Rock about this shit because, of course, me and you, we very sports minded. So I wanted to get your perspective on this.
Okay.
And I didn't get the person that tweeted this. So whoever tweeted this, y'all forgive me. But he tweeted a picture of 5 people and he asked, who's on your list? And he basically was saying, what's your list of 5 people who's basically legends, the greatest, but didn't win a ring. And it's across any sports. For the most part, they was just talking about basketball, baseball, and football because, you know, that's the most American sports for the most part. And the list reads from left to right. Allen Iverson, AI, of course. Some black nigga in baseball with a giant shirt on. So, you know, I watch baseball too much, but I'm guessing since he black, Sammy Sosa wasn't black. Mark McGwire, was Mark McGwire black? Who am I thinking of?
I don't know my
Mark
baseball
black,
history.
right?
I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro.
Who the fuck am I thinking? This gotta be. So who was the dude that got caught up with the steroids? Who I'm thinking about? Sammy Sosa?
Sammy Sosa, yeah.
But it was another dude. It was a black dude. Hold on right quick, because it's gonna bother me unless I find it. Mark McGwire. Let me make sure that's his nigga name. That wasn't even that man. That's a whole white nigga, man. Let me see. Giants. Keep talking while I'm doing this.
Keep talking. Was it Barry Bonds?
Barry Bonds. That's who the fuck you see. Yeah. See, that's all you need to do. Just guess what time. So it was Allen Iverson, Barry Bonds, Charles Barkley, Melo, Carmelo Anthony, of course, and Dan Marino.
Okay.
And the tweet right underneath it said, Carmelo over Chris Paul, laughing my ass off. There's like 5 people in the league currently with no rings. Who's better than Carmelo? And the tweet underneath that, and this is the last tweet, basically said, on pure talent, on pure basketball talent, Melo is better than LeBron. But LeBron is far more superior of an athlete than Melo. And that is what I found interesting. Because that really made me think, like, damn, dude, low-key kind of got a fucking point.
No, he don't. No, he does not.
All right, let me get my perspective before you go off.
Go ahead.
I already know your tone. I already know that tone. Tell me you about to go off. So let me get my perspective right quick.
Okay.
So he's saying Melo better than LeBron on talent base. So let's just say in the sense of talent, we talking about, and defense is not even a question. It's not an argument. I'm not even about to go there. Now on the offensive side of things, I'm looking at Melo, who's a better 3-point shooter, a better mid-range shooter. It's an argument who can finish underneath the basket better. Now, I'm not saying he's a better dunker, but I'm just saying solely as a better finisher underneath the basket. There's an argument to be made. Melo is a better rebounder, maybe on certain occasions. I think he's a better rebounder. And I feel like he's better in the clutch. You give me your perspective now.
Okay, so just so I can clarify, can you read that last tweet again?
On pure basketball talent, Melo is better than LeBron, but LeBron is far the superior athlete over Melo.
Okay, so my first question would be, why isn't athleticism taken into account when we talk about talent? Because if I recall, what was it, episode 8? We were talking about talent versus skill. And,
right. Well, talent versus hard work. Talent versus hard work,
my bad. But yeah, why isn't talent taken into account when we talk about, I mean, why isn't LeBron's athleticism taken into account when we talk about talent? Wouldn't that make him talented too?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, it's not even an argument because LeBron is, it's just not an argument. Like, there's no debating when it comes to who's more athletic, but there is a debate when it comes to who's better on, say, the offensive side of things. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. I would still take LeBron over Melo on offense. Coach. Because, hold on. See, now y'all about to pull it out of me. Let me see.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, if I'm not mistaken, LeBron averages more points per game over his career than Melo. Now, I know Melo had a couple seasons, his last couple seasons where, scoring been down. He hasn't played at all. But aside from those seasons, LeBron, I'm pretty sure, still averages more points per game than Melo for a career. I know for damn sure LeBron is the better passer of the two. I also would say that they're what in the rebounds per game as well. So, and I think this is, kind of an argument that can be made for our newer generation where, people look at scoring, in any sport, really. Offense is what's selling the tickets. So when you look at their offensive games side by side, yes, Melo, his game just looks much more appeasing, like such as a Kobe, MJ, and even like, a Kevin Durant. Like their game just smooth. It looked pretty. I think that plays a part.
Kind of hold you right there.
Okay.
Let me kind of hold you right there because you actually brought it to a very interesting part. So, and this is actually the most pivotal thing that I actually forgot to mention when it comes to Melo versus LeBron. Mm-hmm. Isolation.
Okay.
Melo may very well be one of the top 3 isolation players we ever seen.
Facts.
Outside of say like Kobe and Michael Jordan. Like those may be the only other 2 that's better in isolation.
Now wait a minute.
Who else?
Because off jump, 3 players that come to mind all play in Brooklyn by the name of Kyrie, James Harden, and KD. All of them on ISO are dangerous.
Right. And I'm glad you named them. First thing first, Kyrie is not better than Melo, so we might as well X that off. Kyrie Irving cannot get I'm talking about in their primes. Of course, right now is not even a competition. But I'm saying when Melo was in Denver.
Mm-hmm. So prime Melo versus prime Kyrie, ISO.
Prime Melo versus prime Kyrie, ISO. I feel like Melo is a more efficient person at getting his scores. Getting his baskets and basically being able to help the team out more. Now, on the Harden side of things, Harden may very well be slightly better on the ISO kick. However, when it comes to, and this is just, of course, the prime side of things. However, when it comes to being clutch and also being a little bit more consistent, I don't know if I'll choose Harden. And by clutch, I'm basically talking about we didn't see Melo time after time after time show up in the fourth quarter. Like that's literally whoever team he on, that's normally the only person who's shooting the ball. Now on Harden, we seen Harden be much more passive, and we also, and this is just solely when it goes back to the ISO side of things, we've also seen the refs help out Harden way more than we seen them help out Carmelo. Carmelo normally, is on a Kobe side of things. Like he don't even look for the ref. He solely shoot his shot, and if it go in, it go, and if it don't, he on to the next play. Okay. Now, KD is probably the only argument why I may have to capitulate and say, yeah, you definitely got me on the KD side of things. However, KD still on the ISO kick isn't as aggressive, nowhere near as aggressive as Melo. Am I lying?
No, that's facts. Because Melo,
so if you're not as aggressive, not by aggressive, I mean just when you get the ball, you looking to score off the rip. You're not looking to pass. And KD he's not like that. I mean, he just isn't. Like either he's going to be passive, or the second the defender stops him, he's going to give it up and wait to the next possession. Melo is going to force his shit. That's a fact. Even now, to this day. So that's kind of why, I say I'll still give Melo the when it comes to isolation, I'll still give him, of course, the dub when it comes to isolation compared to those 3 people.
And I'm sitting here and I'm still thinking, bro, because I'm offended. I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro.
I know.
Because I cannot believe somebody would compare Melo to LeBron. I mean, even if we talking, okay. So, of course, Melo shoots more. I think you're being
disrespectful. I ain't gonna lie.
No. We're gonna keep it a bean. Melo, all right, so if I recall correctly, you said Melo is the better 3-point shooter and the better mid-range shooter, correct?
He's a better 3-point shooter, mid-range shooter. He's a better rebounder. And this is what I mean by rebounding. I'm not meaning on the defensive end, everybody just let LeBron catch the rebound like they do with Russell Westbrook. No, because of course, they know LeBron is going to set up the offense. No, I'm meaning on the offensive side of things and on the defensive side of things. So, of course, Melo is literally the one person who normally fights for rebounds when it comes to being on the offensive side. He literally, you hear him screaming, I got the fucking ball. Yeah. Give me the fucking ball. Shit like that. Literally on the offensive side of things. On the defensive side of things, he does the same thing. And that's why I'm saying I feel like he's the better rebounder. And then, too, I just feel like he's bigger than LeBron.
I think the rebounding thing is debatable. I will lean towards Melo, though. From all I've seen, Melo is a ferocious rebounder, as the 2K community would say. But but I still, I have a hard time agreeing with him being a better 3-point shooter and a better mid-range shooter, because I think what plays a factor is, of course, Melo takes more of those shots. But LeBron is pretty efficient when he does take those shots. Because he doesn't shoot them as often, I don't think we should subtract points from him. Even when we go back to the original tweet and we talk about talent standpoint, I think LeBron is more talented and he's more skilled than Melo. I really don't see the argument, honestly.
Well, I see talent and skill is basically the same thing. However, I see, I don't know, like I just really do think that I feel like if LeBron wasn't and this is just my guess, if LeBron wasn't as athletic as he came into the league as, Carmelo Anthony would have had a much better career, because he was it was drafted in the same year in 2003. And I feel like if LeBron, because literally athletics is what carried LeBron basically all the way until he got back to Cleveland that second time. Because even in Miami, LeBron wasn't really effective as a shooter at all for the most part. Like his athletics and his ability to pass the ball and get to the goal was literally what carried him. I mean, that's what Skip used to be saying all the time. Skip would cry on First Take all of the time. He's big. Why don't he just put his head down and drive to the goal? Stuff like that.
Idiot.
And so like, that's literally what carried him his first, 10 years in the league. It wasn't until he got back to Cleveland when he maybe have lost a step. It wasn't until he got back to Cleveland to where he maybe have lost a step until he was basically able to, just be a little bit more effective with his shot and be a little bit more efficient with his isolation. Because if you really look back at even his first Cleveland days, he didn't isolate a lot at all.
No. I mean, that's just not his game. He did a whole lot of pick and rolls and stuff. Right. Well, and that's why I'm saying I feel like Carmelo was a little bit more skilled, because for the first 10 years in their prime, I mean, Carmelo, he could do whatever he wanted to do for the most part. And again, this is kind of where I feel like scoring played, it holds a lot of weight when we look at, overall game, because
that's what you got to do to win.
No doubt. But I do feel like those other factors come into play. Kind of how we talk about play styles and this and that. But let me say this too before, I forget about it. To your point, or to respond to the point you were making about as far as his athleticism carrying him. Of course, we'll never know how he would have turned out if he was a bit less athletic. But one thing I feel like I can look to and, have confidence that, because I feel like, LeBron could do it all. But, and I forget what video I was watching. I don't know if it was a video about Kobe, Jason Tatum, how, JT a big Kobe fan or whatever. But,
right.
Just talking about how, if you can always get better, there's something that you can always work on and improve. There's always a weakness in your game. I know LeBron shares that sentiment. And for me, I can look back at the 2018 playoff run LeBron had when I don't know what it was that possessed this man, but the turnaround jumpers, his mid-range and his post-up game, you can tell he had worked on it so hard. And I can look at something like that because that was a historical playoff run. I can look at something.
Oh, you're talking about the year when J.R. Smith had that mess up in the finals.
Yeah. When LeBron was, lighting the Raptors up as usual. But
that was a crazy year, boy.
Yeah.
That was a crazy year for that, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so I can look at something like that and I can, it gives me the confidence to say, well, if LeBron wasn't as athletic, I have a hard time believing he wouldn't have worked on a game similar to that. Because, of course, we know at some point all of the athletic players have to adapt their game. And, like when we look at, MJ, early on, he was more athletic. He wasn't the best shooter. But at some point, he developed, a mid-range game. Same with Kobe. He started out his first few years, he was driving more than shooting. But he developed that game because he knew it was a weakness. I feel like LeBron would have been the same way. So, and again, like I said, we'll never know because, of course, we can't change what is the now. But yeah, I definitely don't like this argument at all. Don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to disrespect Melo. I think he is one of the greatest to not win a ring. He is one of the best offensive players we've ever seen. But yeah, I don't see the comparison to LeBron.
I mean, I definitely do agree everything with what you were saying, especially when you brought up that 18 finals. Like you actually did kind of make me lean a little bit more towards your side because that was a really good example of how LeBron was able to work on something.
Yeah.
And I guess you could, excuse me, I guess you could kind of say that still was his prime. So if you're taking it from that instance and comparing it to Melo's prime, then you may have a point regarding, of course, his skill set.
You know what? It's crazy too. And, I know we had the LeBron episode and, try to avoid sounding like, I'm D-Rod LeBron or whatever. But it's crazy how you can look at, I would say at least three parts of this man's career and you can say it was his prime. Like that 2013 season with Miami, he was ridiculous. You got, and I don't want to say it was the whole season 2018, but he carried that Cavs team. He looked like he was in his prime in the playoffs. And I want to say year 2 with the Lakers last year, before, at least before COVID, he was in the MVP race.
That boy Hugh can't say shit bad about LeBron.
I mean, hey, and look, and
nigga cannot force his lips to say shit bad about LeBron.
Real talk, bro. The man had 3 primes. And look, and let me paint this picture for y'all. And Elwood know this. Because I'm a Celtics fan, I'm pretty sure I said that already. I absolutely hated LeBron when he was in Cleveland. Absolutely hated that nigga. Oh, I especially hated him when he went to Miami because I had to hear Elwood out. Even though Elwood wasn't the biggest LeBron fan, but niggas was winning, so I had to deal with that. But when LeBron, I ain't gonna even lie, dog. When LeBron won. When they beat the Thunder. Well, when was that? 2012?
Yep.
When they beat the Thunder, I looked at that and I said to myself, I can only hate for so long. At some point, you got to just appreciate greatness. Same thing with Kobe. 2010, when they beat the Celtics, I looked at Kobe and I'm like, dog, this different animals. They just different animals. So like, you just got to respect it. So when I look at LeBron today and I, just looking back over everything I've seen and just his career, I'm one of the people who believe that LeBron is 1A. He's not 1B, if that makes sense. So yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I agree with you. I feel like when it's all said and done and he retire, it's gonna be like that.
Right.
And people gonna see him as the GOAT, quite honestly.
Yeah, it's a lot of hate, and there's more room for hate too, of course, with social media and whatnot.
Right.
So, and that's how kind of Jordan was a different animal because he was doing that, without social media. But regardless, yeah, I I have a hard time finding anything bad to say about LeBron. I mean, aside from, let me see, what would Skip say? His free throws. Yeah.
That's about it, huh?
That's about it.
But honestly, bro, it's good that you say that because, you know, it's really a testament to, like you said, self-development and how he was able to work on himself and really go about the business of improving his skills to the point where we can actually compare him to Melo and Melo's skills and shit like that. Yeah. And, you know, just having, like we were saying, constant growth, constant development. That way he can add constant value. Right. And quite honestly, that's exactly what we're looking for. That's exactly what we need in order to grow the show. And of course, as we mentioned before, if you want to add value to the show, that can be done just through going about the business of listening all the way through, giving us some feedback. You know, go ahead and message us. info@KRUEClothing.com. Of course, we're presented by KRUE Clothing. Kings remain unified eternally. KRUE Clothing. And of course, go about the business of just leaving us some donations. If you definitely do see this show as valuable, consider giving some value back. And we, of course, will continue to grow the show. Just like LeBron grows himself and develops his skill set, we definitely will continue to grow the show and develop our skills as podcasters, you heard me? So definitely consider leaving some value back. Consider, of course, checking out KRUE Clothing, KRUE Clothing. And of course, go ahead and consider checking out Color Command. You know, allow them to provide some value to your startup, to your business, to your company that you're just starting up. Of course, you can check out Color Command in the show notes too. And with all of that being said, I am El the Designer.
I'm LaRock.
And this is episode 10 of the ShiftMakers.
I did it right.
Oh shit. All right, give me a countdown, bro.
All right. Going live in 5, 4.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
All right.
I gotta turn off the lights and shit. I gotta set my vibe. All right, look, I'm tripping.
Hey, it's funny because I did the exact same thing.
For real. Nigga can't record with the lights on. Fuck that. All right, now you good. Go ahead.
All right, we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, so. What it do, everybody? What it do, everybody? We back one more time again. We back.